Hi, Evangeline Scott here again with Summit Funding, chatting with you today in regards to credit scores or credit repair. What the subject, and that there are so many different myths out there in regards to credit. And so just wanted to give you a quick little insight on some of the basics and the credit basics, I like to call them. So first of all, you typically want to have at least a minimum of 4 major trade lines. And that you have to have credit reporting for you so that from a credit bureau standpoint, you actually have something to grade, if that makes sense, okay? Whereas oftentimes people will think, but I closed my cards because I wasn't using them, or if I don't have credit, that should be good because I don't have that debt. Unfortunately, it's a game in essence. It's a system and you have to know how to work and play the system. So you have to have credit there and established to be able to, in essence, be graded on. So typically you want 4 major trade lines with preferably 24 months or 2-year history on those trade lines to give you good history, okay? A couple other major key components is that on average, people will have, including myself, because I love my Capital One card to get my miles, people will typically have 1 or 2 cards that they will use. And even if they use it and max it up and pay it down again or pay it off at the end of the month, when that creditor reports to the credit bureaus, they will often report what is the highest balance that given month. It'll never show that 0 balance, right? Continuously, okay? So from a qualifying standpoint, what you look at is the individual of the limit compared to what the debt you're carrying is. On average, you'll hear that magic number typically be about 50 to 30% of debt to what the limit ratio is. So just quick basic numbers. If I have a $5,000 credit card limit, I don't really want to ever be above $2,500 balance, okay? And remember, even if I'm charging it to $2,500 and paying it off at the end of the month, it's still going to report typically around that amount or whatever when the credit bureaus report. So sometimes it's much better to take a couple of credit cards and have that debt over 2, 3, or 4 credit cards than just one that's reporting as you being maxed out every month, right? So annoying, I know, but it's kind of playing the system and it definitely works to your advantage because then you have 4 creditors reporting how great you are in regards to 1 creditor reporting that you are maxed out. The other biggest thing is people will always want to close credit accounts. The challenge if you close a credit account from a lender standpoint, and I'm not saying if you're not looking at buying a house and you haven't used that Macy card in goodness gracious who knows how long, you can go ahead and close it. But from a lender standpoint, typically we don't want you to touch stuff from a qualifying aspect because if you close it, you lose that history, that good credit reporting history that you had. The other key component to that is the overall debt to limit ratios of your debt. So if I had $10,000 in credit card limit, $5,000 in debt, I'm at a 50-50 ratio. If I go ahead and close $2,000 of limits because I really wasn't using those cards, my ratios for debt just went up, which means my score just went down, right? So just a little bit of credit tips there to, appease the mind, so to speak. So if you have any questions, always welcome to call me, and I'm more than happy to go over your scenario with you guys.